If only I had started saving aggressively when I was 25. You know, that thought that just loops in your head.
Hmm.
And then it's followed up by that comforting but really self-defeating phrase, oh, well, the train has left the station. I'm just too far behind now.
That fatalism is incredibly common. We hear it all the time, especially, once you hit that 40-plus demographic.
Right.
People assume that because they have debt, a mortgage, family, and just, frankly, life fatigue, that any real financial correction is impossible. They feel trapped.
And that's exactly why we're diving into this today. Our mission isn't to sell some get-rich-quick fantasy.
Not at all.
This deep dive is built around a real, concrete 30-day plan for a financial relaunch.
Yeah.
And it's designed for you, the person dealing with all of it. Decades of habits, liabilities, and that exhaustion that comes with midlife.
Exactly. The sources are really clear that success here is about discipline and realism, not delusion. So we've synthesized this to first identify those common traps that keep us stuck.
And then
And then we'll walk you through the whole framework, the 4 phases of the 30-day plan, week by week.
okay, let's unpack this. Let's jump right into what keeps so many smart, capable people stuck in a financial rut after they hit 35 or 40. We're calling these the 3 financial traps that sink us.
The first one, and this is maybe the most pervasive habit, is what the sources call living by eye.
I love that phrase. It's perfect. It captures that vague, non-systemic approach. Money comes in, money goes out. You check your balance sometimes.
You don't actually track the flow.
You're driving blind.
That is the perfect analogy. It's like driving cross-country just using the sun. You'll get somewhere, eventually, but you won't know if you're about to run out of gas or if you've been taking these incredibly inefficient detours.
And that inefficiency gets masked for a while, right?
For a long time. Before 40, you might have enough buoyancy, maybe a rising income, fewer big costs to hide it. But as liabilities grow, bigger mortgages, college savings, all of it, relying on intuition instead of cold, hard data becomes, well, completely unsustainable.
Right. Your money is deciding where it goes, not you. Which leads to the second mistake, which is all about safety, or a false sense of it, relying on external safety nets.
And this shows up in 2 really insidious ways. The first is relying on the state for a pension, believing it will be enough just because you paid in.
Okay.
And the second?
The second is assuming your employer won't let me fail, especially after years of loyalty. But the sources are crystal clear on this. Neither the state nor your employer is ultimately responsible for your financial independence. That's on you. Solely on you.
It's a harsh dose of reality, but a necessary one. And that brings us to the third trap, which I think is the most damaging because it's purely psychological.
Oh, absolutely.
The convenient belief of too late.
This is where that fatigue really takes over. The thought, I missed my chance, it's too late. It actually offers psychological comfort.
How so? Well, if the problem is unsolvable, you're justified in doing nothing. You can relax because your inaction is rationalized. But that belief is just poison. It shuts down every single possibility for change before you even start. It's an easy escape that guarantees stagnation.
So the big takeaway here is that a relaunch after 40 isn't about finding some magic button. It's about choosing discipline, confronting reality, and committing to changing the system.
Exactly. Which brings us to week 1 of the plan, the honest audit. This is probably the most psychologically challenging week.
But the most important.
It's the absolute foundation for everything else.
So the goal is brutally simple. See where your money is actually going, not where you think it's going.
Because those 2 numbers are almost never close.
Not even in the same ballpark.
So phase 1 is the first 3 days, raw data collection. The rule is strict. You record all expenses, every coffee, every bill, every online impulse buy.
And no categorizing yet.
Don't categorize it. Don't clean it up. Don't judge yourself. Just capture the raw data stream. The sources suggest that the average person doing this for the first time underestimates their spending on non-essential impulse items by 300%.
Wait, say that again? 300%.
300%. That's how far off our intuition is.
That stat alone makes the pain of this audit worthwhile. It's like just dumping all your receipts on the table and staring at the messy truth. So then, phase 2 starts on day 4, structuring the flow.
Now you bring order to that chaos. You take that pile of raw data and you categorize it into 5 key areas: housing, food, credit and debts, small items or trinkets.
That impulse category.
That's the one. And crucially, the last one is joy.
Hold on, I have to jump in. Joy is a category. Isn't the whole point of this to cut all the enjoyment out? Why would you track joy? That feels completely backward.
It's a brilliant psychological trick. It prevents burnout.
Yeah.
You see, you're not tracking what you should cut. You're identifying what spending genuinely improves your life versus what money just vanished on stuff you barely noticed.
Ah, okay. So it's about mindful spending.
Exactly. The audit reveals the difference between the $100 on a forgotten subscription versus the $100 on a memorable night out.
That makes perfect sense. It shows you the behavioral patterns so you can cut the pointless leaks without killing the motivation to keep going.
Precisely. You might think you spend a ton on credit payments, but the audit often shows the money's really leaking out through that small items category, the 3 streaming services you only have for the kids, the one you got for soccer season, the snacks at work. That's the leak.
And once you have that honest, categorized ledger from week 1, you move into week 2. Cutting the noise, we have the data, so now, how do we stop the bleeding?
The goal here is surgical efficiency. We're removing non-essential spending that gives you minimal return on your happiness.
Okay, so phase 3, days 8 to 10, is the pruning. I have to ask, for someone who's already exhausted and looking at this painful ledger, how do you avoid just total financial burnout here? Is there a triage strategy?
There absolutely is. The strategy is to attack the low-hanging fruit first. Focus on recurring, low-impact expenses that take a one-time effort to stop but give you immediate repetitive savings.
So subscriptions.
Subscriptions are the classic example. Unnecessary services, those extra food deliveries that became a habit. This is often the easiest money to get back instantly because those small payments add up to hundreds a month without giving you real value. That quick win gives you momentum.
That initial pruning is so important. You see the result in your bank account right away, which reinforces the habit. But then it gets really interesting. Days 11 to 14 is phase 4, self-negotiation.
Yes, and this is the crucial mental shift.
This is what stops the austerity fatigue.
It is. You are not eliminating all enjoyment. You are not going into financial deprivation forever. That's the key. The goal is to consciously transfer, say, 10 to 20% of that non-essential trinket spending and redirect it.
So if I find $400 of wasted spending, I'm not just saving it, I'm actively negotiating with myself to put that $400 toward a specific goal instead of just letting it get absorbed back into my checking account.
Exactly. You are making an internal contract. You're negotiating with your future self for a better outcome. You're not losing 20% of your fund. You're gaining stability and funding your mini cushion.
Which is the focus of the next week. That reframing is essential. You've stopped the hemorrhage. Now let's build some protection. We move into week 3, building protection, days 15 to 21.
So week 3 shifts the focus completely. We go from managing the leak to establishing a solid financial foundation and tackling liabilities head on.
Phase 5, days 15 to 17, is about the mini cushion. This feels like a huge step, but the goal is modest, right?
Very modest. The target is to start accumulating a cushion equal to at least 1 month of mandatory expenses.
And you're stressing the word start.
Absolutely. If a full month seems impossible, aim for 20 or 30% of it. The real importance is starting immediately, even if it's small, like $50 or $100.
This is your financial airbag.
That's it. It's a small buffer that stops one flat tire or one unexpected bill from sending you right back to your high-interest credit card. The habit of setting money aside is, at this stage, so much more important than the size of the pile.
That mini cushion gives you confidence. Then, once that psychological win is there, we dive into the, let's say less exciting, but vital, phase 6. Days 18 to 21, the debt deep dive.
This is where we get mechanical. You analyze the details of every single debt. You need to know, what's the APR? Where are you really overpaying? Debt isn't a single flat enemy, it's tiered.
So for someone listening who has a few kinds of debt, a mortgage, a car loan, credit cards, how should they approach this?
The sources suggest 2 paths, and you have to choose based on your personality.
Okay.
Mathematically, you should always attack the debt with the highest APR first, no matter the balance. That saves you the most money on interest. But for someone feeling high fatigue, sometimes the best strategy is the biggest psychological win. That means you close out the smaller debts first, even if the interest is a bit lower.
Just to get it off the list.
Exactly. You generate momentum, you clear a line item, and you reduce the number of payments you have to manage. It simplifies things.
The knowledge you get in week 3 is powerful. You're not just paying bills, you're strategically attacking the cost of living. But you can't just save your way to freedom.
No, you can't. That's why week 4 days 22 to 30 is all about looking about income.
All right, so we stop playing defense.
And we start playing offense. We shift from managing scarcity to expanding opportunity.
Phase 7, days 22 to 24, is the skill inventory.
Pull out a sheet of paper and you list everything you have that you're paid for or and this is critical, that could be monetized.
So not just I'm good with Excel, it's more like I can streamline messy data into clean reports using Excel.
Exactly. You're listing the solutions you provide. This includes hard skills, soft skills, experiences. People after 40 really undervalue the unique combination of capabilities they have, your network, your ability to manage schedules, even speaking another language. This list is your revenue toolkit.
And that leads to phase 8, days 25 to 27, where we set concrete income targets.
Right. And we're not aiming to quit your job and become a millionaire investor in a month. The goal is modest and realistic, maybe an extra $100 to $200 a month.
Ah, so it's small enough to not feel paralyzing.
It prevents analysis paralysis. If you found that subscription leak from week 1 was $150, your immediate goal is to simply replace that loopage with new revenue. That could be through side jobs, negotiating a higher rate, or pursuing a promotion. It makes earning more a concrete target.
And finally, we get to the end of the 30 days. Phase 9, days 28 to 30. This is where you sit down and answer 3 critical questions.
These questions force you to assign a real value to your time and define your path forward. Question 1. What is the current value or cost of 1 hour of my life based on my income and liabilities?
Okay.
Question 2. What is my specific, quantifiable goal for raising that hourly value within the next year? And question 3.
The most important one.
What is the very first immediate step I will take next week to achieve that goal?
That third question is the action trigger. It stops this whole 30-day plan from just becoming a document you file away. You've done the audit, cut the fat, found your potential. Now, what's the immediate, non-negotiable next move?
So let's bring this all together. What does this mean for you, the listener, who started this feeling trapped by that too late belief?
Well, after 30 days of the systematic effort, you're not living by eye anymore. You know your numbers. You've cut the noise that wasn't bringing you joy. You've started your mini cushion, even a small one, and you have a real concrete income goal.
It's not magic.
Not at all. It's a functional framework that replaces that fatalism with data and, just as importantly, momentum.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the real message is that your age is truly less important than the moment you decide to stop believing that you can't make a change. These 30 days prove that a system works, and that knowledge is your most powerful tool.
Right. So since these first 30 days establish that foundation, the discipline, the data, the small cushion, here's a provocative thought for you to chew on. You've spent this month focused on the tactics, on the numbers. Now that you have this knowledge, what specific system-wide changes beyond just the dollar signs will these new habits enable in the next 30 days and beyond? Will this empower you to negotiate for what you're worth, to leave a toxic job, or to finally start saving for that huge goal you thought was impossible? Think about how this new mastery over your money will translate into mastery over your life decisions.